luck. Luck's for lotteries, you know. Everything else you kind of do your own yourself.
Luck is important, but it takes more than luck to be a winner. Hi, I'm Lynn St James, and I loved being featured on Winners. And I'm even happier to be your guest host on today's episode of Neil Bonnett's Winners. You know, I'm originally from Ohio, so it's a special pleasure to be the one to introduce you to the Buckeye Bullet, Dave Blaney, one of America's top sprint car drivers. Dave races on the World of Outlaws circuit, which always has been the richest and most prestigious sprint car racing going. Dave Blaney is one of the best of the best.
Got on the inside, the driver and special, the great number 10 Ford-powered car. Racing fans, please make welcome Dave Blaney.
When you pull into a racetrack, you know, the race is on, you know. We're here to win, and that's why we're going to make some money tonight.
And Dave Blaney has made plenty of trips to the bank. He's been racing sprint cars since 1981. In 1993, he finished second to his #1 arch rival and racing legend Steve Kinser. But finishing second isn't enough for Dave Blaney.
Our philosophy was just to go out and try to win every race. We didn't, after the night was over, we might look at the point sheet and see if we gained on Steve or he gained on us or anybody behind us gained on us, but before the race and up during the race, we just try to win. If it came down to, you know, the last couple laps and you could either go for the win or ride around in second, we just go for the win. That's just the way we went after it.
As I said, the big obstacle in Dave Blaney's way is usually 13-time World of Outlaw champion Steve Kinser. He's seen Blaney close behind in his rearview mirror for several years. But in 1993, much of the time, it was the back of Blaney's number 10 that Kinser saw out front. It's become a heated rivalry that's going to only get tougher.
No doubt about it, Kinser's got to beat every year. He's got such a good team, and he's been around for so long, and I mean, that guy will do what it takes, whatever it takes, and you know, he's the one you're going to have to beat when you come out here.
Dave's probably as toughest competitor you're going to have out here on this circuit, and especially the last couple years, they've got a good race team with the Casey Luna team and Kenny Woodruff wrenching the car. You know, Kenny's been around quite some time and has always had fast cars and good drivers in them. And with Dave's ability and the type of racer he is, it just makes it even tougher when he gets that good of equipment. And Dave is as good as anybody.
Dave Blaney won't be content until he leaves Kinser and everyone else in the dust. And in the down and dirty world of outlaws, that means an all-out, take-no-prisoners style of racing.
You just try to do what it takes to win, whatever that may be, whether it's going slow to go fast or going over your head, whatever it kind of calls for.
Whether you drive sprint cars like Dave Blaney or Indy cars like I do, you can never let up. And Dave never does. But an average day for Dave is a lot different than an average day for me. When we come back, I'll show you what it's like to be on the road with Dave Blaney. Welcome back to Neil Bonnett's Winners. You know, as an Indy driver, I'm used to a season that includes, you know, about 16 events. But in the world of outlaws, that number can be as much as 100. So when I say we're taking you on the road with Dave Blaney, I mean on the road. If it's true that practice makes perfect, then Dave Blaney and his fellow World of Outlaw drivers should be flawless. Their season includes more events than any other type of organized auto racing. I hate you. You get to race all the time. I mean, how many times a year do you actually race?
Oh, it's probably going to be 90 to 100 this year. Hey, if we only race 6 or 8, we'd be eating peanut butter. We got to race a lot to make any money. But no, that's a good thing about sprint car racing. A lot of races, and if you screw up tonight, you got tomorrow night.
If you think 100 races sounds like a lot, it's not enough for Dave Blaney. He loves racing so much that on his rare off nights, he's never far from his race car.
If I'm not racing, I like to work on the cars or be in the shop or doing something. And it's maybe better to have a few outside interests, but I just don't have any yet.
He's never taken the time to pursue any hobbies. You see, racing for the Blaneys has always been a full-time family affair.
My family been racing, you know, ever since I was born. My dad started racing when he was 18, and His dad got him into it, owned cars, and it's just been in the family forever and ever. We grew up watching it and going to them, and lucky enough to be able to do it.
Dave says he didn't plan a career in racing. It was just the natural thing to do.
Then when I was just getting out of school, it was coming down to, hey, you better find something to do here. And at that point, Dad had his own race cars, and just one night he said, well, why don't you drive it this week? And I've been doing it ever since.
He started driving well almost immediately. Dave was just 21 when he became the youngest driver to win the USAC Silver Crown Point Championship. That was 1984. The next year, he joined the outlaw circuit. When you race 20 to 30 laps on a dirt oval track, it means that every move and each position is crucial.
In this type of racing, if you're not starting in far enough up, even if you're as fast as a leader, it's hard to get there. You just don't have enough time. So there's every start or every restart's important. If you can pass a guy or get in position to pass a guy in the next corner, like I said, it's quick, and you got to get the job done quick and get out of there.
And though the racing is fast, the learning process can be slow and tedious. Believe me, it just takes time.
I started when I was 21. I was so stupid. I think, hey, I can drive harder than these guys and I can whip them, and it's just not the case. It comes down to if you've been around and you know what to do in certain situations and how to come in and relate what the car is doing to your mechanics and to get the car better. I mean, that's 90% of it.
Dave's mechanic is considered one of the best in the business. Kenny Woodruff knows how to make a sprint car run in top condition, and he expects his driver to make the most of that. Ken is a man of few words and big expectations. Blaney meets the test.
He's probably one of the best drivers I've had. He's got a lot of experience. Most of the time he can come in and tell you what's wrong, and between the two of us we can get it going again. And Dave's got mechanical ability too. I mean, he can work on one of these things if he has to, and he has worked on it.
The relationship between driver and crew is more than just a professional one, because in between all of those races are all of those road trips. Together, they spend lots of time logging thousands of miles.
If you want to do it, you gotta run up down the road.
It can be a long road, but the Blaneys like to travel it in style. Since the season includes 90 to 100 stops, wife Lisa, daughter Emma, and baby Ryan go with Dave in their motorhome all year long.
Well, I got a wife and two kids that go all the time, and my crew chief Ken Woodruff's wife goes all the time, and it makes it better for everybody. It seems like you can keep them if you take them.
But the traveling family residence sometimes needs repairs, too. So, these racing wizards get to hone their mechanical skills on a slower-moving vehicle. But slow isn't exactly Dave's speed.
Glamour of life on the road, right?
Yeah. You got to have one for the kids and the wife, and it's pretty nice. I don't mind driving it down the road for about an hour, and then I'm done. I've had enough. Somebody else can drive. Hey, Emma. Hey, Emma. I think Sawyer's motorhome's right ahead of us. We'll catch up to him. Want to catch up to him?
Sometimes the instincts just come out. The temptation to pass mobile homes is just too much.
I get picked up trying to catch him. Oh, that'd be great TV.
But Lisa says it's rare for Dave to push the pedal to the metal in the mobile home, despite what people might think.
It's funny because, like, the insurance companies, for our vehicle insurance, they want to raise it real high because they think because Dave's a race car driver that he is this terror on the road. And actually, he's a better driver than any of us because he has the instincts. He knows if somebody's going to pull out in front of him. He knows how much of a distance he has that he can stop, you know, and he's actually a better driver than any of us.
Lisa is absolutely right. Race car drivers are among the safest drivers on the road, or at least we should be. When we come back, we'll learn more about Dave Blaney and why he's one of the fastest drivers in sprint car racing. When Dave Blaney visited me recently at Indy, We had a chance to talk about what fuels his competitive spirit. That's important to us drivers because if you're going to be number one, no matter what you're racing, you've got to have the drive, the determination, and the single-mindedness. You're on top, you keep winning. What makes you a winner? What keeps the fire in the belly or the juice flowing?
There's a couple guys that just beat us to death. Kinzer and Swindell, and those guys just kill us. So there's a lot of incentive to go out there and beat those guys.
The rivalry between Dave and Steve Kinzer is a heated one, but it's respectful too. Sometimes it overlaps the racetrack and into another place.
I come from Bloomington, Indiana, being around Indiana University a lot, and Dave's always been around basketball and played basketball a lot, I guess, growing up. So, you know, we can talk about it. I just wouldn't ever have to play with him.
But they do play an occasional game of racquetball, and while there's lots of kidding around and laughing, the competition is always there. Oh, these two are friendly rivals, but the rivalry never stops. Somehow their friendship exists because of that, not in spite of it.
We've got a family he takes around all the time too, and you know, we try to get our kids together a little bit, and we play racquetball a little bit once in a while. I don't like to play with him. I thought I could beat him, but he just whipped me terrible. So I say my arm's hurting, my knees hurting, I don't want to play. So.
Dave likes to play basketball whenever he can. There are usually pickup games on the road. He spent a lot of his school years on the court with his older brother Dale, a former NBA player. They were star players on their high school team, and not surprisingly, they too developed quite a rivalry.
He wants to do well and wants to win at everything he does. I mean, if it doesn't come down to playing a game of horse or playing a game of racquetball, I mean, if he doesn't win, he's pretty upset. And, you know, there's been times when we've played racquetball and we didn't ride home together, but we rode there together.
Everybody in our family is kind of like that, pretty competitive. Nobody likes to lose a whole lot. And it was hard for Dale and I to just go play basketball or any type of sports together. We just end up fighting or something. Even now we go and play racquetball, and half the time one of us walks home. It's tough sometimes.
Brother Dale is now also racing on the sprint car circuit. And though that may mean even more family competition, he thinks they'll be able to handle it. Especially since he thinks Dave's matured now that he has his own family.
Getting married was probably the best thing for him. Growing up and having a couple kids, I mean, his wife Lisa's a heck of a lady, and I think she's brought a lot out of him that nobody else could have, and you know, that helped a lot.
Dave credits Lisa with making life on the road a pretty smooth ride.
She's real good about it. You know, she's gotten more used to it as we've gone here, and I mean, she really loves having the kids all the time. So, I mean, she'd rather have them no matter what. She's good taking care of them. I mean, she does it all. You know, I do as little as possible, and she'll tell you that. But she does a good job with it.
And Lisa believes their life on the road actually makes Dave a better father who has more time to spend with his kids.
All my friends back home, you know, my kids see their dad more than any of their kids because he's at the office, you know, 8-10 hours a day. My kids, when we're on the road, they know their dad inside and out because they're always with them. And, you know, that part of it, it's been really nice because I know Emma, my oldest daughter, her and her dad are real close, and they spend all day together. Really being on the road, we're just like a neighborhood that travels.
And Lisa also believes that having the kids around has changed how Dave views his job. He's still competitive and wants to win, but he doesn't seem to take the losses quite so hard.
Dave used to get real frustrated sometimes after the races when things didn't go the right way, or he didn't win, or he broke, or something like that. And I know, well, Emma, our new one, he's just starting out this year, but Emma, she could go back to him, you know, and Dad's just Dad to her. She never thought, oh, I better leave him alone, or I better watch out. Or she just goes back to him, and I noticed that it all goes away. You know, anything that happened at the racetrack, as soon as he has her or his kids by him, it's all forgotten.
I tell you, I used to be, you know, a bad night at the racetrack was bad. It was hard to take it. I just went, but now I can kind of go into motorhome and she'll grab a hold of you, and it kind of all goes away. So I think that's good. Gets rid of it.
Dave even claims that Emma is a race fan.
She knows most all the guys' names, you know, and she takes an interest in it. I mean, when you tell her we're going to the races, she gets all fired up. She likes it so far, everything about it.
Emma gets that from her dad. He's happiest when he's racing, but the next best thing is working on the car, or sometimes just hanging out with the crew, except when they try to get him to pick up the check for lunch.
Come on, you can watch the driver pay for us.
The people who pay for the car are longtime owners and innovators, Casey and Beverly Luna. They are also among Dave's biggest fans.
Beverly and I like him very, very much, like he and his family. I think that's an awful lot of it, and he's been a team player. And when things go wrong, he doesn't knock the car, he doesn't knock the motor, he doesn't knock the crew. I think that's what I like more about him than anything else, the fact that if there's a problem, he doesn't go around degrading something. He feels probably it's, and when he's to blame for something, he readily admits it. And I really admire him for that.
The Lunas are at the track whenever their schedules permit. Casey's been Lieutenant Governor of New Mexico and spent much of '94 campaigning for governor. Though they attend fewer races than they'd like, whenever they can, they join the team on the road. It's more than just business, it's become like a family reunion.
I think that's part of the satisfaction of doing what we do, is because it is a family situation. We enjoy the camaraderie, the fellowship that goes with it.
Just love to come racing, and I can never get out to where they live. I keep saying I'm going to, but they're real nice people. They just love racing, and you know, I'm glad we had a good year for them last year.
Finishing second in '93 was a big feat for this racing team. But when you talk to Dave like I have, it's easy to see. He never takes his eye off the prize, victory.
I want to win. I think I've got as much desire as anybody. I love racing. I'll tell you, if I'm not racing, I'm home working on race cars or fiddling around in the garage or whatever. I just want to be a part of it. And I don't know. I've always just wanted to win bad. If the best guys were racing somewhere, I wanted to go race with them and try to beat them. I didn't really care much about anything else.
Now that I've gotten to really know what a tough competitor Dave Blaney is, you have to wonder, just how long is he going to be content driving in the world of outlaws?
We won the championship in 1989, and we know what that's like. We know the rewards that come with that and the great feeling that you have. And we had a great chance of doing it last year, but that old bad luck bug just kept biting us, and we just didn't finish up the way we should have. But we ran second, and I guess, you know, that's fine. But when you get that close to being first, you want to be first.
If there's a game or if there's a race or something competitive, you know, we're going to try to win, try to be the best at it. You know, I hate to play golf. I go out there and, you know, when you first start, you're terrible, and you say, oh, and you got to put in so much time to get good. I'm not going to do it, so I don't play at all, because I'm not going to be terrible, and I'm not going to play every day to get good, so I don't play at all. And it's the same way. You know, you just got to race every day and get as good as you can, and you know, you can't race any less than anybody else races. If somebody's racing more, they're going to be better.
Dave's real happy with everything. He would race no matter what. To him, it's just an added bonus that he can make a living at it.
Oh, this is it. You know, this is great. I mean, it's what you know, when I first started racing sprint cars and knew that's what I wanted to do. Hey, if somebody told me I'd be, you know, sitting here and have the things I have and the ride I've got, and you know, I'd say, hey, which arm do you want? I'll cut one off.
Luckily, that didn't happen. But like me, Dave Blaney realizes that in lots of ways, he's living a life that many only fantasize about. Maybe that's why he does it so well. Maybe that's why he's a winner. I'm Lynn St James, and see you next week on Neil Bonnett's Winners.
Neil Bonnett's Winners is brought to you by Allied Signals Fram Filter Products. Fram, you can pay a little now or a lot later. And by Autolite Spark Plugs and Wire and Cable Products. Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years no matter how far you go.
Next on Winners, Rusty Wallace guest hosts a very special program on the legendary Richard Petty. And we'll find out if there's a new career around the corner as Richard makes the transition from driver's seat to pit row.